Hello and welcome to the Feral Future Podcast. I'm Erik.
Hi there, I'm Keri Joy.
We're coming up on the winter solstice.
Yes.
It's now December. It's wintertime, time of rebirth. So
Mm.
we're going to talk a lot about that. We've also been on some travels since our last check-in from Yosemite. Actually, speaking of rebirth, you just did a workshop up north that kind of had a lot to do with birth.
I
So
did.
why don't
I
you?
did. I went to see this incredible woman. Her name is Elena Tonetti, and she is just this most perfect embodiment of a healthy being. She is so alive and joyful and vivacious and sexy and stunning and whole, and um, she's just magnificent. Erik and I actually met her together in Hawaii. We went there last year because I had heard about this type of modality that she teaches, and it's really just to really support the original trauma is what it's called when you're birthed into the world, and it doesn't come in from a place of absolute divine love, or it's in a hospital, or it's not in her situation. Or what she shares is that she has birthed thousands of babies in the Black Sea, and when a baby comes into the world through the vaginal canal into water, that is the ideal scenario because of the fluid. The what is it?
The amniotic fluid.
The amniotic fluid is kind of a continuation from being in the mother's womb into the water, and she birthed them in this incredible place where women used to come from all over the world to be able to be in these birthing camps with dolphins, and so it's quite magnificent. And so, of course, most of us did not have that luxury of being birthed into the world like that. Erik and I were both C-section babies, and there's a lot that comes into it, the imprints into the nervous system, into the brain. And so we've both been kind of on a path of supporting ourselves within that. And so I'm always like interested in doing things, especially from people like Elena, who are just at the top of their field. And so I went to work with her, and it was really, really stunning because first of all, it was like 20 incredible people. Like, when you are with a group and you just bond instantly. Like within the first night at dinner, we were like telling each other that we love each other, because it's like when you have like these conscious people who are committed to doing this type of work, you're so honest and real and authentic, and all masks are taken off. So you can't not love one another because you're just
Right.
seeing someone from literally who they are. They're showing up so
Well,
real.
and the amount of like roadblocks or filtering to get to a place where you're at a home like that to do a healing ceremony kind
Yeah,
of thing like that. So many things are in alignment beforehand that you
exactly.
almost can't help but find your people or find your tribe in those kind of
Absolutely,
situations.
absolutely. And my story of even getting there was kind of so symbolic in itself. Erik knows a lot of it, the push pull, the start stops. Like, I was the first person to sign up for this workshop, and I was almost didn't make it. Everything in my body was like freaking out, and I missed like 3 flights got canceled prior. So I didn't even know if I wanted to go, if I should go, what the best thing for me to do, until I actually was about to miss like the second plane, and I said, "Oh my god, I need to be there." And from that moment on, everything just like opened up, and I had the most like incredible 4 days with incredible people, and felt so held and so seen. And I really feel that there was just this calmness that came out of that experience that I have not experienced. Um, I mean, I search for it, I yearn for it, I desire it, but from that experience, and there's some few other things that you and I have been doing together, but that experience was such a solid imprint. I mean, it literally rewires the limbic imprint, and I'm blanking on the other, the reptilian brain, and
Yeah, the amygdala.
the amygdala, and like there was the cortex, and so it rewires that, and then it's like you're touching. It's a lot of somatic work, so you're kind of imprinting it back into the body. So wow, it was just so fantastic, and I'm so grateful. We're gonna have Elena on.
Yeah, she's definitely interested
She's so interested in
in
what
one
we're
with us.
doing,
Yeah.
and she loves Erik so much, and she loves the two of us. And for her to see, because we went to see her in Hawaii almost a year ago, and to see like my evolution in a year, and where I had come from, and to where I am now, I know it was like such an honor for her. And she's like kind of in retirement, has come out of retirement. That's why we're like,
Right.
I'm interested in it. She was like, I'm retired. And then she's now not. And I'm like, I'm going to see you because
Yeah.
you're like the best woman in the whole world doing this stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that she sort of brought the concept of water birth, which
yeah,
is so popular nowadays, she was really a pioneer in that space. And even,
yeah,
the idea of like having dolphins involved, it's, one of those, luxury birth type experiences, but it can be such a beneficial thing. And really the babies that were born out of her
oh my
program,
God,
30, 40 years ago,
stunning,
if not more. And yeah, so it's a very cool thing.
stunning.
Um,
Yeah, we have been. I mean, I love that we're talking about solstice because we're so on we're so like in alignment with what's going on, because that was solstice is that rebirthing
right.
time, and to kind of move into that time period where it's like this hustle and bustle all around us, and yet you and I are kind of rebirthing ourselves.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things where, going back to the idea of feral and kind of the domesticated returning to the wild, like the domesticated it's the holiday season, it's the hustle and bustle, it's gifts, it's shopping, it's travel, it's, pushing yourself to your limit, it's eating a diet that maybe you wouldn't normally eat. A lot of people are getting sick this time of year or going through their seasonal detox is kind of how we look at it, not so much an illness, but a detox as, the days go shorter and there's less light and the fresh vegetables taper off and it gets more into like the root vegetables. So it's a time where your body would naturally kind of release and drop away the things that it needed for the summer to prepare itself for the winter. And so ideally, this time of year is really a time to kind of go inward, quiet down, settle. But the system on the outside wants us to do exactly the opposite. And
Absolutely.
it's so challenging to do that. So we really kind of take that into heart and kind of slow down and still accommodate the holidays on our schedule and our terms, as opposed to letting it completely dominate our lives.
Right.
And yeah, so that's part of the create the rituals that work for you and shut away the ones that don't. And um, it really empowers you to sort of take back that control and give yourself what you need to connect back to nature in the way that it wants to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that every single day there's less light
Mhm.
available to us, I feel is really symbolic. It's literally telling you to slow down.
Mhm.
It's telling you, to take care of yourself, to go to bed earlier, to be less on screens. One of the things that I found, I saw everybody, because we have a business and we have to be very conscious of how we use social media because we need it for our business. But I was seeing someone who's on their phone 24/7 saying she was really sick. And I'm like, get off your phone. Like,
Mhm.
that is how she's like, how do I get better? I'm like, stop using the devices just for a little bit. You'll get better. I'm a big believer. Don Lester and David Parker put out, what really makes us ill. And the EMF and the Wi Fi is one of the things that really makes us ill. And I don't feel that anybody has any type of true understanding of the magnitude of what the EMF has, and will continue to do and get worse
Mhm.
as things progress. And it is just literally like your human duty, like civil duty, to make a conscious decision to have a healthy relationship with devices. And one of the things we do is we turn off at night, we completely shut down our Wi Fi. So it's off for the majority of the evening.
We're
And
also fortunate to live in an area where we don't have carryover Wi-Fi from our
right.
neighbors. We have very low, like we can maybe see one or two other signals, and they're very faint. So we're pretty lucky,
Yeah.
and we barely get any cell phone reception without Wi-Fi. So,
Right. Right.
but that was a conscious effort on our part to
Yeah.
to find a place that offered that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we moved in, you were so amazing about getting all the incandescent light bulbs and then red lighting our home.
Right. Yeah, we took out all the LED halogen, all the high frequency bulbs, and replaced them all with incandescents, 25 watt, like low output. So everything's very mild. Yeah, and at night when it gets dark, we go into red light mode, which is similar to the firelight colors or sunset colors, which are really help you to transition into night. Blue light, your body thinks it's sunlight, daylight, out blue sky. Where in the nighttime it's more orange and red and yellow. So we've done all that changes, so that makes a big difference.
Makes a
And
really big difference. Yeah.
yeah, I saw a post the other day from Carnivore Aurelius. He's one of our. It's funny, the stuff that we'll talk about. It's almost like we're tapped into the same thing, because we'll talk about something, and the next day he'll post almost exactly what we talked about. And I saw him post something about, like, if your house doesn't look like a brothel at night, you're doing something wrong in terms of the red lights. And
Yeah.
our neighbors probably think we're
Oh
some
my
weirdos,
God.
but
Seriously.
but
Absolutely.
let them
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And then we obviously have our beeswax candles, which we
Mhm.
light. I'm like, any moment I can like light those candles. And that mid-afternoon it looks a little odd, but first thing in the morning, as soon as the lights go, as soon as sunset, candles are on. We have the fire on, and then I do blue light glasses if we were watching a show, or if it's just if we need to
Mhm.
kind of protect ourselves, because I just feel you might not even realize it, but the sleep you'll get will be more restful and restorative if you are, taking care of your eyes. And I also feel like that is going to be something that people are going to be much more conscious in the years that come. And then in the morning, as soon as you can get outside, the ideal scenario is both of us were up, our whole house was up super early this
Right.
morning. So it was a very long time before the sun came out.
Yeah.
But it is really nice to get that morning light, within half hour of waking, to kind of really help set the circadian rhythm. So that's something we both try and do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So solstice is coming up again. It's a rebirth time, a holiday time. We have another thing that we like to do around this time of year: our Holy Nights
Oh yes.
ritual. So
Yes.
we're going to be starting that up here pretty soon.
Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah. Oh my God. It is really interesting how it is like so busy outside. And yet, like, we have been in kind of like nesting mode. We're also in a very big growth period of our business. So our days have been very much, they revolve around our business, our animals, ourselves, nourishing ourselves, eating good food, and then doing the things necessary to kind of move our business forward, ideally in the least amount of like hustle and grind type of way. But we have kind of created this like, this like it feels like a sanctuary or home. It's very relaxing, and yet there's so much happening, like, not that far from us, which I
Mhm.
also find really interesting.
Yeah, we're here in Solvang, which is like one of the most. It's the most one of the most themed towns
Yeah.
in America. It's a Danish themed town, so it's got a kind of like a. It's just a touristy downtown, and when we first moved in here, we kind of avoided it. We like it more now. We've sort
Yeah.
of gotten used to it, and
Yeah, no, I love it now.
we can and can't go, and the shops and restaurants that we like that are worth braving um, the crowds for.
But it's
But
still not as busy as any
no, it's
city.
nothing compared to like being in LA. But even so, it's not. It's a small town, so it
Yeah.
can only handle so much, and it
Yeah.
gets overwhelmed pretty quickly. But it's 5 minutes away, but we almost are never even affected by it. So it is interesting that, especially this time of year, they do all the Christmas lights, and there's all
Right.
these events, and
Right.
they had a parade last weekend, and then the whole town was just sort of inundated, and we almost didn't even know that it was going
Yeah.
on. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
um,
Yeah, so also, with solstice coming, it's also a really beautiful time for music, and we did just get a piano.
yep, we have a vintage piano from the late 1800s that
Yeah.
was gifted to us from some friends. So
Yeah.
fortunate to be the new caretakers of that, and want
Yeah.
to kind of put some effort into that to bring it up to where it deserves to be. It needs a tuning, and um, I'm actually going to get it tuned to 432 hertz,
Mhm.
because it was actually built with that tuning. It wasn't until like the 1940s that they changed to 440 hertz tuning. And I've heard that it adds almost like 1,000 pounds of tension to a piano with all the strings combined. And so by drop tuning it down that little bit to 432 hertz, it's really what the piano was built to be tuned for. And it's also more of a healing frequency, as you know, with your
Mhm.
history and
Absolutely.
um, biofield tuning
That's
and
so
frequency healing and
fun.
all that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
down tune guitars to
Yeah.
duet with it, but that's fine. I'm happy to do
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm still hoping we can,
it.
we've also been we've been chill in the home, but we've had events for business that we've been
Hmm.
kind of participating in on the weekends. And I'm still hoping we do something, either some type of small gathering with some friends for the solstice, and we can bring other instruments and
Hmm.
piano and do something to kind of honor that sacred time. It's really just a sacred pause. It's just a time to go inward and to reflect. And it's, aligns with the new moon in Sagittarius. Erik and I are both Sag moons. And so it goes Friday, December 19th is the new moon. And then the 21st, which is Sunday, I believe, excuse me, maybe the 22nd is Sunday, goes to solstice. So it's like a really, really special 3-day period or 4-day period, 19, 20, 21, 22. And it's just this, even while you're out and doing things, even if you can take, moments for, conscious breathing and journaling and just reflection and just, it's literally the best pause because it sets you up for the next. I like to look at it like, it could be your whole year because it could be solstice to solstice, or it could be solstice to the spring equinox. So it's a 3-month period, but it's just such an incredible time to set intentions on what you want to, see in your life kind of evolve in the next few years, because we have been saying the things that have been coming up for us and the synchronicities and these like full circle moments of the people we've been meeting and the things that have been happening to us and these experiences, we're like, it's almost it's kind of crazy when you think about these little things and you're just like, it's like written in the stars. And so
Well,
if
it's
you
like a Quentin Tarantino movie or something where it doesn't make sense until the end, and
yeah
you look back and you're like, oh, that's why that happened, and
yeah
it seems like chaos and all these like
yeah
crazy things happening, but then in the reflection back, it's like, oh, that's why all of those things happened, and those are the
yeah
lessons we had to learn, and those are the
yeah
challenges we had to overcome and things like that. It is very poetic in that way.
it is so poetic. And it's also like, one of the lessons that I've been really sitting with is, what if I just like hands off, like did not control anything, right? Like, would it just have happened just exactly the way it was all supposed
Probably would
to?
happen a lot easier. Probably a lot further along.
So, because when I don't know, because like there's been these things where like, well, it was going to happen like that anyway. And so what would have been like if there was like no struggle,
Just
no
trust.
suffering, no stress,
Yeah.
like it just like this hands off kind of experience. And, that's a big one for sure,
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like you and I have gone through, with our relating and our new business.
Mm-hmm. We've been talking about intention setting and review, so let's go back to the holy nights that we
Yeah.
started doing.
So along with our little musical celebration, and I've been doing this practice for a long time. I feel like Kundalini yoga kind of got me into the um, appreciation of solstice season. And then I've just been deepening, and I've been studying with like Rudolf Steiner, and he talked about the holy nights. And it's, you kind of get set up around solstice time. Like you start to, get your journals together, get your candles together, make lists of things that you want to kind of, you're just very intentional about it. But the idea is that it starts on Christmas Eve and it goes every single night. You are reflecting on the month that just happened and then setting the intention for the month ahead. So it goes for 13 full nights. So it goes from Christmas Eve, December 24th. I believe that's till January 6th.
Okay.
And so it's a practice that Erik and I have been doing since we've been together. And it's really, we have to go through our last one because
So you pull. It's a series of cards, and
mhm.
there's like an
Right. So
animal, there's a plant, and
right.
there's
Well, that's
a
with Lara J. Day that we've been
right.
doing recently together. So that one is, we kind of intuitively pick cards. I have the deck actually;
Yeah.
it's right here. This is
But there's an animal, there's an herb or a plant, and a mineral, right?
yes,
And the three of
exactly.
those things are sort of dependent on different impacts. So one of them, we start with one for every month of the year, right? Is that, if I recall?
Yes, you start for one for every month of the year.
So the first night is like you pull 12,
Right.
and then the 13th is like the year as a whole.
No, no, no. So the first night is just symbolic of the whole year.
Okay.
And then the rest is just individually for that month.
Okay.
And then there is also a reflection of like the month that just passed, the month before,
Mm-hmm.
not the month before, like if when we're doing December 25, we're reflecting on December 25, and then we're going into December 2026 and what that is going to be like and where we're going to go. And then you pick this card and it has a whole description and it kind of sets you into that tone about where um, you were going to be and kind of, yeah, it's all just super intentional. And then there's the whole astrological side too that like Rudolf Steiner talks about as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a really beautiful time because the ideal thing is it's after sunset. So you have the day, it's a little bit lighter every single day, or a little bit more light every single day, but still not a lot. And we just kind of get cozy and connect. You can do a little meditation before, and then you pull your card and kind of we talk about it together, and then we write it down. And it's just like our little thing that we do to honor this really special time and then see how it reflected based on that experience and kind of what came out through the year.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it.
I know. I know. It is really beautiful.
Right. Okay, so yeah, with kind of the idea of looking forward, it's also a good time to look back. You know, it's been a year now that we've been doing Feral essentially full time. Quite a few things have happened since 2025 started with the business. Yeah, so I guess we could kind of take a kind of minute to look over the things that happened that were sort of high points and exciting things. You know, um, we launched the business with our prepared foods, the elk chili and wild boar pasta and turkey wild rice soup, and that was going really well. And then we decided to expand out into our pantry line so that we could have a more of a national exposure and ship more easily and have products that weren't that were shelf stable, you know, that were we could ship and not have to worry about storage. Um, so we launched our pantry line, which are herbs and spices and teas, and then also our marshmallows. So the marshmallows were sort of I think the first thing that really was the indicator that something could come out of this beyond just doing local prepared foods. And we got connected up with some local coffee shops and they started carrying them. And then we have a great partner, SYV Pantry, that was our first stocking dealer. And they've been a great partner and have really been kind of our go-to for marshmallows here in the Valley this whole year. And then another big one was Slow Ranch Market. So you had sort of manifested that. We had seen it getting prepared to open as we were driving by, as we were up in San Luis Obispo. And now they're one of our largest accounts, and we see them quite often. We just did a pop up there, and showed off our new hot cocoa mix that we're doing with. We'll talk more about that later. And our mallows and some of our herbs and spices. So yeah, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the way we've been kind of pivoting because I feel like that's really important. You know, Feral Future is such a big mission, and it's something that we both hold very dearly and very intentionally because it's no small undertaking, you know. And so we wanted to launch with food because food is kind of this doorway in. And so
you are what you eat is such a big component of what we do. And to align with us, you have to be kind of clean in terms of your food and diet. Like if you're not there, like that's step one.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely. And so, you know, Erik is such a beautiful cook and he's been doing it for so long. And when people eat his food, they really, what comes out of their mouth is like, this is what food should taste like. And so, you know, but it was only able to kind of get us so far because of the fact that we wanted to keep so much intact, like the mason jars, the glass preservation. We wanted to, it was very hard to get good margins on a quality food like that. And so we were so passionate about, getting this feral lifestyle and people started to eat a certain way. And so when we really started looking at the pantry items and kind of having Erik's cooking infused with these everyday essentials that we were creating, that to me was like this like aha moment of like, oh, we have something really special here.
And the idea was never to stay in food. Like from the very beginning, it was like, how soon can I get out of the kitchen? Because it was such a time consuming process. And I never wanted to be, like a restaurant chef type situation where I was in the same place every day doing the same thing. Like I love to cook and I love to share my food with people, but it wasn't something that I wanted to be doing all day, every day. And so yeah, the idea of either moving it to some sort of production facility that met our standards, or pivoting into doing something else, and just bringing it out on occasion for events and for uh, you know private chef type stuff and supper club type situations
Yeah.
that we're working on. So that was always the idea, and so it's nice that we're sort of going into the next stage of something that can really grow and scale, but has the foundation of these food products that we know and love and have had such a positive reception from
Yeah.
everybody that's shared it with us.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's so thoughtful, all the things that we create. Like, I'm so proud of it when Erik and I look at it and when I see him kind of producing it, and, the fact that they're all in glass jars and they're bamboo lids, and it's, these wine paper. So it's kind of the signature to the valley that, we created it from. And just the fact that we have, full control of the entire like manufacturing process feels really special, because we know that the quality is just top quality. We've sourced ingredients, and we did such a great job of like finding the best suppliers that have the most ethical standards about, the top organic qualities. And all of that really goes into the love and care that, goes into the product and goes into your home. And so there's just such a specialness
Yeah, we are
to it.
the test um, cases, I
Yeah.
guess. Like everything has to go through our high level of you know approval.
Hmm.
This is stuff that we eat ourselves, use ourselves on the daily, and we have to use it ourselves. We kind of take time to really get to know it before we're willing to move it forward. And there's a
Yeah.
few things that we haven't done because it just hasn't been able to work right or hasn't been feasible, whether it's through sourcing or whether it's through the cost. But everything that we are selling, we use ourselves all the time and love it. And it's not just a product to sell for a profit. It's we want to share the things that make us happy and make
Yeah.
us feel good and make us achieve the highest levels that we feel we can achieve,
Yeah.
and share them with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I feel like the pivoting has been really interesting. I mean, it's like you have to keep on your toes and know when it's time to kind of move to the next. And we've been doing more events and partnering with some really beautiful hotels and private clubs and things like that. And we have courses coming out. I'm really excited for your course because I think that's going to be
Hmm.
like a game changer.
Yeah.
Um,
And you launched your course as well.
I launched my course, and we're going to be doing a good push for that in the new year, which I'm really excited about. It just seems so timely, and I'm so proud of that. And it feels like one of the things that I'm supposed to be doing is really supporting women really get back into their bodies and slowing down and really just living this pharaoh lifestyle. Like how amazing if like people were less about the whole consumerism about the holidays and understood, like took a step back, like, well, what is this really about? Why was this date just thrown in here? And this
Right,
like,
and we think holiday, but it's holy day. Like these are like a
yeah,
time when you're supposed to connect with things
yeah,
that are greater than you are. And I don't think the way that it is now. Money is certainly the holy
yeah,
aspect that is being applied now, and there's almost nothing religious or Christian or any type of way you want to explain it. It's
yeah,
none of those things, and so to call it a holiday or a holy day is pretty far from what's actually
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Although what I would say, and this is something I learned a while back, like there's so much love on those days, like, on Christmas, like there's like this frequency of love because for the most part, everybody's, so you can tune into that,
Sure.
and so if you can, and it's all about frequency anyway. And it's like tapping into those moments and feeling so good and feeling connected. And it's like we're all one and we're all together. And, so I feel like that is also an important
Hmm.
thing. Um, but yeah, in terms of the business, it's just so fun creating. I mean, literally, like we have so much fun coming up with new products that you guys want, that people seem to be interested in, and it's things that we just love doing so much. And between the two of us, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do now? Like, we have
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff for like 2026, including these courses. God knows what else is going to be on the horizon. Like, we have to even like talk about it. Like, I feel like during our like holy nights, we have to really be like, what are we doing in 2026?
Hmm.
Like, where are we
What
going? Because
aren't we
it's like
doing?
sky's the limit,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I guess it's a good time to talk about, since we're talking about all the new products we're doing. We can start with the hot cocoa mix.
Okay.
So we're calling this our cocoa mocha ritual, and this is a blend of raw cacao and Dutch processed cocoa. So that's cocoa that's been alkalized, so it's less bitter. I know that with my boys, when I try to make hot cocoa for them with straight raw cocoa, there's no amount of sugar that gets to a level of the bitterness going away that they can drink it. And so Dutch process gives you that smoother cocoa taste, but without the need for sugar. So it's essentially alkalized, takes the bitterness out. So it's a blend of raw and Dutch processed, a really nice, well-rounded cocoa flavor. It's got some uh, coconut milk powder, so there's no dairy required, so that gives it the creaminess. It's got functional mushrooms, cordyceps, reishi, chaga, and lion's mane. It's got collagen that we've added as well to help support skin, hair, nails, and gut. Yeah, and just a little bit of coconut sugar for sweetness. And 2 tablespoons in like 8 ounces of water makes a really nice cup. And then when you pair it with our marshmallows, it's probably one of the best cups of cocoa you've ever had. And it's got functional
Yeah.
mushrooms and all kinds of
Yeah.
supportive elements to
It's pretty amazing because first of all, we were
it.
we were using some of that in our coffee
Right. It
every
really is.
day.
It really is. That's why we call it a mocha mix, because
Right.
it's kind of it's the same ingredients that we use in our what we call our farro coffee.
Yeah.
And I actually started the recipe. I was working on the recipe a little bit, and I was looking at it as a pure cocoa, and then I was like, hold on, let me just go back to like what I put in my cup of coffee in terms of like how many grams of this, how many grams of that, and that was sort of how I
Yeah.
reverse engineered it into cocoa, as opposed to like starting with a cocoa recipe and making it the way I like it.
Yeah. And something else that happened to Eric and I in 2025 is we are both huge coffee drinkers and we still drink coffee, but it's now decaf coffee to nourish our precious nervous
Hmm.
systems in the best way possible. And now I'm also just, if I'll have a decaf sometimes in the morning, but this is what I drink
Yeah.
with our mallows. And it is like natural magnesium and it supports neurotransmitters. And of course, I drink it in the sun and I get that, it's just another incredible ritual that, like, who knew that this could be so good for you and
Hmm.
just make you feel so amazing.
Yeah, hot
Eh,
cocoa is always thought of as like super sweet. Give it
Totally.
to kids and
Just
they're
like mallows,
hyper.
like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we're bringing back mallows, we're bringing back hot cocoa, that this is like, beautiful ingredients, thoughtfully done, and it could be really good for you. And also, you can drink it at night. And it's like, the way that the cocoa, it's not like, yes, if you drink too much, it could be a big stimulant, but if you have a cup at night, it's really great for rest, really great for sleep, really great to just kind of get you into that
Hmm.
relaxation. And so it's so beautiful. And we just had an event and literally we sold out in like
Yeah,
minutes. It was like wild that people are like craving it. So
yeah.
that's really fun.
Yeah, so that's a new one. We also just recently released a garlic salt recipe. So I grew up with Lowry's garlic salt in the house, and it's sort of a flavor and texture that I grew up with. And as I became more aware of food quality and everything, I know that it wasn't the best in terms of it's probably terrible, in fact. And so I wasn't happy with any of the garlic salts I was able to find. Nothing sort of like gave me that flavor profile and any of the kind of qualities that I liked about the Lowry's, but had the organic and high quality ingredients. So once again, I just had to make it myself, and I think I came up pretty well on
Yeah,
it.
everyone's loving
It's
it.
been really great. We're using it on all of our meats. We're using it. It's been fantastic. Use it on garlic bread. We've actually been sampling our herbs on local sourdough bread with either garlic salt or a full spectrum salt as a way to like show off the herbs, and it's been going really
Yeah, and
well.
if you happen to buy our herbs and you have a party, all you need to do is get some local sourdough bread and olive oil, and you have like the perfect little hors d'oeuvre to like leave
Yeah,
out.
just
People are like
toast them under the
freaking
broiler.
out about how
Yeah,
good it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's funny actually. The kids at events have been just like we almost have to shoo them away because they're
yeah,
eating so
I
much,
know.
and it's not necessarily like kid food. my fennel and flame seasoning, it's got fennel, roasted red pepper, smoked paprika. It's not the kind of thing that kids would typically go for, but they absolutely
Yeah.
just put it down. They
Yeah.
can't stop eating it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a fun one for me. And also the color is Lowry's lime green. So if you're using something like Lowry's, or if you used it in the past and you have that sort of muscle memory, that connection of that lime green color, it's on the label. So
Yeah.
it's an easy transition to go from that to this.
Yeah.
And then the third new item, Keri's really excited about this one, is our golden hour tea.
Mm-hmm.
So with the solstice coming up and the winter coming, the longer nights and shorter days with less sun, we wanted to take all of the sort of ingredients that really soak up the sun and store it, and then have that available to us in the wintertime when we
Yeah.
don't have the sun. So yeah, we called it golden hour because it's got all of the colors that you would sort of expect to see in that golden hour. It's got calendula. It's got why don't you tell us?
Well, it
About some of
has calendula, it has lemongrass, it has lemon balm,
Mhm.
it has oat straw, it has chamomile, it has a little rosemary.
Linden, right?
No, no linden.
No.
And there's the other. What's the other lemongrass?
Oh, lemon verbena.
Lemon verbena. Yeah. And it's just so beautiful. It's also supposed to, and I love the way you described it, and also like supposed to like kind of support like the inner fire within you. So it relaxes the nervous system, but yet with like the oat straw and the chamomile, but the ingredients blended together kind of just ignite that like solar plexus, like inner fire within, to support the less light without. And I've just been drinking it like all like
Mhm.
it has been so nourishing and so supportive. And you can drink a day or a night. I've just been drinking it mostly during the day, warm, especially as the temperature changes, and it's just been super supportive. And we decided, because this has been such an incredible year, and we are just like wildly grateful for everybody and for all of you, we decided to actually launch this as a gift with purchase. So for anybody who buys for this little window, it actually will be complimentary in your order. So we might, if it's a huge success, keep it on the roster. Um, and but it was just really like we wanted to do something like an
Mhm.
appreciation. So I'm excited that we were able to do that. And
Yeah, so we're giving the gift of sun in the time of year where
yeah,
there's the least amount of sun. Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, we love the name, and then yes, it's just yeah, so much fun stuff.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover?
Um, no, I just feel that we should just again extend like our gratitude and for what a beautiful year it has been. I do hope we do another podcast before the end of the year, because you know how much I love these.
Yeah.
But solstice time is just such a special, sacred time. And if you have not experienced it on your, before with you and your family, I do hope that you hear some of the things that Erik and I shared and incorporate into your life and your ritual, because it really does make life way more meaningful, in my opinion, and really supports, being in alignment with nature and energy and just the way the universe and all of it intended us to be. It's a really powerful day. And if you can, align yourself up with the equinoxes and solstices, I bet you'll see just magical things start to unfold even more. So it is a little blessing, solstice blessings.
Yeah.
That's all we can hope for each and every one of us.
A feral solstice blessing.
A feral solstice blessing.
All right.
I love that.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. And
Yes.
remember,
The future is feral.
nature's feral.
See you soon. Thanks so much.